So she got all excited. 2 weeks later, and I was here, and I've been doing the rooftop garden for the last 2.5 years. So, yeah. So I enjoy it. For the first year and a half, I was the only one allowed up there. But I try to make it beautiful for the tenants. Finally, this year, they opened it up. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Tenants can walk up and just go on the rooftop and hang out.
I'd like to have a garden here. It's not fair.
Probably smoke. So anyways, now the tenants can go up there. I was just there yesterday, trying to get it ready for springtime. And, yeah, I said I'll do the rooftop garden for you.
Savannah, Georgia. A lot of people had gardens. Me and my best friend, I think I was about 8 or 9. We went up to the sugarcane village and we got caught. And he took us. People still laugh at that, But he was like my best friend, my good friend. Yeah. And so that was what a lot of life was like back there down in Savannah.
It was a different thing being a young kid in America. I came to America on the day of the blackout, and I didn't really understand people talking to me, and I didn't know English. There was discrimination everywhere. I think I lost life that wasn't really necessary to lose. In Colombia, all I hear is Spanish. That's all I hear. It was peaceful. It was your own culture, your remembrance, your dreams, man. Those dreams you had when you were a kid were different though. The younger kids are taking over. I went to Mexico before I came to America, so I could get a student visa. What I saw in school was different though, because of the lifestyle I lived in Colombia compared to the lifestyle I lived in Mexico. The thing about being a kid and the soccer player was, I went back on a grade. It all went against me. I moved here.
I ended up here.
3.5 years ago.
We were 6 years old.
First of all, I wasn't always from Manhattan.
I was in Bellevue. We were hopping the freight train.
I enjoyed it very much,
Not good.
but a lot of people weren't happy because they felt it was overcrowded. They didn't understand.
A lot of jugs while I was there.
But I just thought it was wonderful.
So I couldn't take it. I couldn't even be around that.
But we had some very angry people.
It was dangerous. There was a fentanyl epidemic. I don't know how they got it in, but 2 or 3 people a day were dying in there.
I still remember walking up with my friend Carmen Labrado. He's Puerto Rican. And this guy came, we pulled back, and boom, came 2 tracks in the back of his head. Killed him. Yeah.
I had to go to juvenile court. And they were warning us about the danger. Yeah, it wasn't a real crime, but it was more of a danger. We could get hurt. Yeah.
So I just left, and I went to a place downtown, private, and they let me stay there for about 30 days until they figured out, until we figured out what we were going to do. And I ended up in a, how can I say it, safe haven? Safe haven. But there was nothing safe about it.
And he was like, listen, boys, you got a choice. I can call the police, or y'all can take this ass whooping.
Sometimes you just gotta forgive people. But he didn't go to jail. He didn't have a life anymore, because he was
About 8 or 9,
58. I'm up there.
a teenager.
I was born and raised in Jersey City. My family was close when I was younger, but I lost touch with my sister. But my parents, they had a big part of what I had to do. I always wanted to be a lighting engineer. But my parents, they said it wouldn't be practical, but I always loved the lights. They wanted me to be a teacher. But I ended up going to a trade school and, I was an interior architecture designer. I love seeing the buildings get put up and then I got to design them after. That was great. I never, ever lost my love for lights. I got a job as an architect straight out of college, and I worked there for about a year or two. But then I was drafted. Vietnam War. They put me in the medical field instead of the engineering department, and I fainted at the sight of blood, so I wasn't exactly sure why, but I learned how to save a life. You learn how to save a person. They wanted me to stay, but I said no, I have a job waiting for me, and I went back to New York in either 71 or 72. At the time, I worked at a professional organization called the American Institute of Interior Designers, and I was the co-chair of the education committee, and I eventually went on to teach at NYU. So, like my parents wanted, I ended up as a teacher. And I said to them, not only do I work at NYU, but I'm a professor too. As time went on, I got involved with tech basics. I got the lights I wanted. But during the pandemic, I was not able to do what I do best, and I started making jewelry. And that's what I've been doing since then.
I was about 40. I'm 58 now. I was about 40. I was living paycheck to paycheck a few times. I wasn't sure for the rest. But I mean, I pulled through. I was worried that I wasn't going to have an apartment. It's scary. Yeah, all it takes is one late train, a busted leg, or a broken ankle.
I would have been homeless. I ended up here because I was renting an apartment in Washington Heights for 2 years.
I made it up to 2019, right before the pandemic.
That's when I was pissed. I didn't know it was an illegal apartment, but they kicked me out anyways. I ended up in a shelter. Lots of drugs while I was there. 2 or 3 people were dying a day. I couldn't take that. I couldn't even be around that, so I just left. Because it put me in situations where I was around mentally ill chemical abusers.
Some people just couldn't control themselves. Couldn't control their bowels when they went to the bathroom. So I told them they had to get me out of here. And they got me here.
And I ended up in a, how can I say it?
A safe haven?
Safe haven? But there wasn't nothing safe about it. The only good thing is that I had my own little room, about the size of this, just enough for a bed. Just enough for a bed.
So I've tried to keep myself clean and, fake the fun. Act as if. That's what I did. I did that for like 6-7 months, and I got into contact with this place. Oh, what the hell is this?
It's a private homeless outreach.
And they got me here. Took about a year. It's what I had to go through to get here.
I pushed them and I said, listen, you gotta get me out of here. You gotta get me out of here. And it took like a month, and I ended up here. But now that I'm here, I'm like, whoa, did I go from the frying pan into the fire? You know what I'm saying? But as long as I keep it together mentally, I'm okay. I found out that the key to living here is you have to keep your mind open. You have to keep your mind open.
If I don't say anything, I want you guys to remember this. Don't get caught in, what do you guys call it?
Don't get caught up in a group where you feel pressure.
Yeah, pressure to do something. If I were to use my 6th sense back then, I wouldn't be in this situation. I'd be Bill Gates or something.
myself, its words are better for me. So I moved around. I found a different place in Midtown. But it wasn't safe, it wasn't what I was promised. And I had to get out, get my feet on the ground to get what I wanted. To get out of here, go to Delaware and settle down. It's harder to do, easy to say to you, but I can't give up now. So I sit and wait. I deal with everything that's on my mind. And I do have one last thing to say. To get far, you gotta keep your mind straight.
Struggle, struggle, struggle. I'm too lost, just keeping 2 fingers crossed. I pray where I go at night, at day. I hope they believe in his name. I hope they know we aren't the same. Being homeless is not a friend. But I push up and go surpass my limit. Just to be out of this place. God is good, God is great. Being in the streets can have an effect on your faith. But I would not let my life go to waste. The struggle is real, but only he can see the straight.
Struggling with it, it's hard to find a place. Paycheck to paycheck, trying to keep pace. For shelter, roof over my head. I'm feeling the pressure, I'm feeling the dread. Being homeless in a city, nowhere to call my home. Praying for a miracle, living all alone. My life has been a struggle.
But I keep pushing and I keep going. Because with the hope and faith from the person above me, God, I can call struggle as a constant way of life.
I hate my struggle. I hate this puzzle. One piece goes there, but I don't belong nowhere. Seeing people pick themselves up with cups and containers wasn't the answer for me. I want to get back into my life the right way.
I want to get to my kids the right way. Struggle, struggle, struggle. It's hard to find a place.
I know you want to know, but ask the older people. Alright, this plant is dedicated to Paul Simon. And so I don't. I'm not trying to fool anyone by trying to figure what's in there. So Paul Simon wrote a song called Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme.
she had me giving tours to all the VIPs of the whole garden. And we were just, like real community. Yeah, trying to support each other.
I wanted to tell you something. You have to be very careful. My mom used to give us this one example. You know bamboo, we make cooking stuff? She compared bamboo with big, beautiful trees and almond branches. Imagine, it's very important. She used to tell us that bamboo, when very strong wind, she bends with the wind into the ground. What happens to the tree? The tree breaks and comes down, causing the wind to break the branches and this, into all this beauty over the tree is gone. What happens to bamboo after the very strong wind and rain and blah, blah, blah? She'll come back and stand again. So we had to be like you said, these things happen to me, make me stronger. And then I start to remember the bamboo, what my mom used to tell us when we were young. She was right. I have to go with the flow of the life because I was planning to just, take a lot of medication and blah, 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 and kill myself. And I said, no. I remember my mom. She said, go into the flow with the wind and blah, blah, blah. And I said, no. I'm going to fight. I'm going to survive and stay alive.
Dear God, I want to thank you for where I am today, this place. I want to thank you for the struggle because it gave me strength. I want you for forgiveness because it gave me freedom. You brought me to the shelter. It gave me freedom. Because where I was before, I was very uncomfortable. The shelter gave me free meals. It gave me an edge to find a job. Cutting my kids into foster care was the hardest decision of my life. I let them down. I did not know if I was going to get them back. But I did. And they forgive me. And you forgive me for all my sins. All my sins. It is magic and I thank you. You're having such an impact on how I live and how I come across. You put this into my heart, you put the beat into my heart. Love. It never fails. Jesus is love. And if I'm going to be in the universe and you're going to be a part of it as God, don't you just want love? Love is a beautiful thing. Love is a struggle sometimes. And your love, absolutely. Every step I take and think of you, the man above, and pray you watch over my life. I pray you watch over my family as I go through hard times and a happy time. I pray you see I'm no longer lost, but on my way to being found. I'm happy, I'm hopeful, and most importantly, I'm thankful. The place I am now feels like home. Thank you for bringing me home.
faze me.
Do you know that expression? It means like it's hard to upset me or surprise me.
But I'm alright.
I was married for a long time.
He was an amazing man.
My wife was from here. She passed away 3 years ago.
He was a person I would want any of you girls to meet a guy like him.
So after that, I couldn't stand living in the same apartment.
I really am lonely because I'm so used to being with my husband.
I just couldn't keep coming home to the same apartment if she wasn't there.
He was really amazing, and I get lonely because I miss him.
And we used to come to karaoke and stuff like that.
I wouldn't try to look for another relationship because I would steadily be comparing him to the other person, and that's not fair. Fell in love once in life. Watch movies at the cinema. The colors came alive, but they were once black and white. 60 seconds. Welcome to be alive. For I might be fly like the wind through the sky. Then we met the guy I like. Then he made me his wife. I fell in love again in life. When we were together, everything seemed alright, 'cause they were once not so fine. 20 years, what a time to be alive. But I'm alright, might be fly like the wind through the sky. Then we met, running on a high. Then he made me his wife. But I'm alright, might be fly like the wind through the sky. And if we met in another life, still I know he'll make me his wife. Still I know he'll make me his wife.
Beautiful girls.
Sit down and let me tell you a story of my past. I lived a life that was filled with anger, and a life that was filled with fear. I still remember the day I had to see my friend shoot someone else, and I stayed strong. I had to stay through it all. I didn't always have to be this way. I was once a beautiful girl, the girl with a big smile.
But things change. People often ask me if I needed help or if I wanted to talk. But I always said, me? No, of course. Because, you know, we live in New York. I mean, I've been here since I was 14. I'm used to it. People would look at me with sad eyes
And say I'm too grown for my age. They would whisper that I grew up too fast. But what they don't know is that I'm the Goliath that everyone needs. I'm the one that made people feel safe, especially since I had so many siblings. I had to protect them. I couldn't be scared. I had to be the knight in shining armor. It was all I knew. I had to be strong for them, strong like my dad. Even now, I look at you, sweet girls, and you remind me of my sister, with your beautiful smiles, and I want to protect you from the scary world, the New York that I had to be strong for.
Beautiful girls, I'll leave you with this. Stay young, stay strong, and never be afraid to ask for help. And never let the world take your beautiful smiles.
I'm 56 now. I'll be 57 in April. Next month. And I think that's gonna be the turmoil in my life. Like, you know, years ahead. That's one thing. That's all I gotta say. I wish I could have gotten married. I know I would have gotten married eventually, but time stole for me. I mean, getting around with your family, now they're older, you see what I'm saying? Younger kids are taking over, so it's something out of your control. You know, it's something that you can't do without an assistant. You need assistance.
Time can fly by in an instant, but save it. Hold it dear and treat it with kindness. Time is the currency in which life goes on.
Will I be regretful and hold my memories against myself in spite?
Or shall I reside in the sweet, solemn memories of life?
Life was going through trouble the whole time. It's amazing.
Hey.